Hello, I'm Dr. Thomas Hitchcock, and welcome to this final episode of our series, Beauty and the Bacteria, an exploration into the world of the skin microbiome. In this series, we're taking a closer look at the entangled nature of our skin's relationship to the microbes that live on and in the skin, and how that affects our lives, from birth till death. In the last episode, I made an argument as to why not all C. acnes should be considered equal, and how our interaction with these strains within the species depend on both us, our genetics and the environment we provide, and them, the particular strain, and how it reacts to the environment we provide. But when you boil it all down, there are two ways in which C. acnes strains can significantly affect overall skin health and beauty. These are, 1, their interaction with skin cells and the immune system, and 2, the substances they secrete to condition the overall skin environment. After we discuss these two things, I think that you'll think very differently about the way that you view the C. acnes species and your skincare in general. Let's get into it. Since it was thought for a long time that C. acnes was the cause of acne, it was assumed that it also caused the hallmark inflammation that acne sufferers know all too well. And this assumption was not altogether wrong, as there were indeed a number of strains under the C. acnes subspecies acnes that did contribute to inflammation. Many scientific studies have used strains of this subspecies to cause inflammation intentionally in the lab, so that some new pharmaceutical or nutraceutical ingredient could be tested to see how it might stop the inflammation caused by such strains. However, we now know that certain strains of C. acnes don't cause inflammation in human cells, but actually do the opposite. I observed this myself in my own research when we stumbled across a strain of C. acnes subspecies defendans from a skin swab of a volunteer. When we started testing the strain with human cells, we were blown away at the fact that not only did the C. acnes strain not cause any inflammation, but it actually stopped inflammation, even when we attempted to cause it. This was an aha moment for us, because it told us that certain strains of C. acnes may not simply be commensal, but may even be somewhat symbiotic in nature. As we mentioned in the last episode, research has shown that it is the specific strain of C. acnes that is important to consider, as some protective strains can serve to train certain immune cells, specifically T helper type 17 cells, to either become protective against inflammation or to act in a pathogenic way to cause inflammation. So while any particular strain of C. acnes may not cause skin disease or acceleration of aging via inflammation directly, a given strain can definitely encourage those things. However, the good news is that if the research reported by this group here is correct, then as long as we foster a good environment for our skin microbiota, for example by not overwashing or applying harsh topicals, then the protective strains can train the immune system to slowly but systematically target the pathogenic strains until some sort of balance is achieved. In theory, at least, until more definitive clinical proof is obtained. Additionally, the protective strains, such as C. acnes subspecies defendans, tends to have a CRISPR element, a type of bacterial immune system that we discussed briefly in a previous episode, to protect them against phage attack, where the pathogenic strains many times do not. This is also good news for our skin. So if we take care of the skin microbiome's environment, chances are that eventually good will prevail, as long as we don't have any underlying immune issues, which is a whole other topic for another series. There are several substances that C. acnes produces, some of which are critical to the health and beauty of our skin. These substances, referred to as metabolites, help to mold the skin environment by providing protection from the overall environment and by being conducive to the curation of the very best of the skin microbiome. This leads to healthier skin. The very first substance that C. acnes produces that we want to highlight is propionic acid. This substance is made in copious amounts by C. acnes, and that is the reason they were formerly under the genus Propionibacterium. Propionic acid is one of the skin-healthy short-chain fatty acids that you should covet for your skin. This molecule, made when C. acnes metabolizes your skin oils, is quite an unsung hero when it comes to creating the best environment for skin health and beauty. So what does propionic acid do for the biome? Well, it's a targeted antimicrobial, shown to actively suppress the growth of pathogens, such as Staphylococcus aureus, including MRSA, and to have exhibited broad-spectrum antimicrobial activity against E. coli and Candida albicans as well. It keeps the pH of the skin low. With a pH of 3, propionic acid acts to lower skin pH of healthy skin to somewhere around 4.5 to 5.5 pH. While commensals and symbiotes love the low pH of our skin, the pathogens like Staph aureus don't particularly like low pH. It inhibits biofilm formation. Formation of biofilms can lead to comitogenesis on the skin. Propionic acid can act to inhibit certain of the skin microbes such as Staph epidermidis from forming biofilms near the top of hair follicles, which can block pores. It's a tyrosinase inhibitor and has been shown to influence the production of pigment. And finally, it's also a potent form of a well-known skin-healthy substance, which takes us to our second type of substances that C. acnes produces in copious amounts: the ever-lauded antioxidant. Yes, you heard that right. Antioxidants, those things that you hear about on pretty much everything from oatmeal commercials to hair care to vitamins to topical skincare and everything in between. Antioxidants are critical to keeping free radicals and oxidative stress to a minimum. So it is a huge boon for us that the most prevalent microbe that lives not only on but in our skin secretes a huge amount of not one, but multiple types of antioxidants. One of which is the salt form of propionic acid, sodium propionate. But another is a molecule that is unique to C. acnes called ROX-P. Unlike great antioxidants like vitamin C, this antioxidant is stable and has been shown to be as powerful as vitamin C. But the very best part about this is that C. acnes is producing this powerful antioxidant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Another reason why a healthy skin microbiome can be better than any skincare product. Then there are the anti-inflammatory molecules. These are a bit more elusive as to what they are and how they act, but what we do know is that something that the protective strains of C. acnes secrete can actually lower inflammation in the skin, as our research at Crown has shown. And lastly, we wanted to mention that there are some molecules that C. acnes strains can secrete that may not be so great, the most famous of which are porphyrins. Porphyrins are a group of molecules that are part of the biosynthesis of essential components of living organisms such as heme and chlorophyll. The porphyrins secreted by more pathogenic strains of C. acnes versus protective strains can indeed be pro-inflammatory when secreted at high levels. The good news is that scientists have shown that the protective forms of C. acnes, such as subspecies defendans, secrete significantly less porphyrins than their pathogenic counterparts. Some protective strains secrete none, as can be seen by this figure by Bernard et al. Not only that, studies have shown that healthy C. acnes' low level of porphyrin secretion is pretty consistent, where the pathogenic C. acnes tend to increase porphyrin production when given certain food sources, such as meat and dairy, which contain high levels of vitamin B12. This may be why some people tend to break out with acne when ingesting certain foods, when others have no problems when eating the same foods. All in all, we've laid out the argument for our premise that C. acnes is one of the, if not the most important microbe for your skin. However, we do not claim that it is the only important skin microbe, as any microbe that contributes to the benefits or detriments for the skin are, of course, very important. Yet we have shown that C. acnes is ubiquitous amongst the human population, and that the benefits that protective strains of C. acnes bring to the skin are on par with even the best skincare products. The caveat is that while the good forms of C. acnes should be protected and fostered, the bad strains of C. acnes are just as important. But important in the sense that if they manifest disease, it can truly affect your quality of life. The great news is that if we develop habits that foster the right environment for our protective C. acnes to grow and flourish, then eventually your biome will find a way to bring your skin into balance. Embrace your oils of your skin and be picky about the cleansers you use and when or how often you use them. Remember that the oils of your skin are a utopia for your protective C. acnes, which will then provide you with copious and consistent amounts of short-chain fatty acids, antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and more. So when you're putting your skincare regimen together, keep your protective C. acnes and the environment they love in mind. Who knows? Maybe in the not too distant future, you'll even be able to curate your own C. acnes, as well as other microbes. Hey, wouldn't that be wonderful? After all, the right C. acnes is a big part of why there is beauty in the bacteria. And that, my friends, concludes this discussion on C. acnes. And it also brings us to the end of the series. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. I hope that what you've learned has changed the way that you look at your skin and the microbes that lie within. And who knows, we might just see each other again quite soon, as we all continue our own journeys within the world of the skin microbiome. From all of us here at Crown Laboratories, thank you for watching. And remember, you have billions of bacteria on your face. And we think that's awesome. Goodbye for now.